Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome back to From the Depths. So, my first adventure, my first adventure mode adventure was not quite as successful as I had hoped. Now, while the turret idea seems to be nice, I'm going to try a slightly different approach today. I'm going to be building what I think would be best described as a PT boat, which means it's going to be a sleek vessel, it's going to be fast, and it's going to have 4 to 6 torpedo tubes, which it can, hopefully, reliably use to sink ships before they get close enough to hit me. Now, especially that second part is going to be quite the challenge, as last time around I got hit before I even knew what was going on. So let's try to make sure that that doesn't quite happen this time around. Again, first objective, get the resources, get the ship going, get moving, and primarily, get defended. Crankshaft, cylinders, actually 3 of those. Cylinders, carburetors. Before I forget, let's throw down some radiators. A couple there, a couple there. And we're going to need resource storage. 2 large wooden resource storage units. Come on, get in line. There we go. We can put the fuel right down the middle. Let's go with a 2-meter box. Boom, and we're generating resources. Perfect. Now let's move the Hearthstone away, because the area that I'm on is usually just a couple of loose blocks. I want to turn that into one wooden beam. Like that. Now, last time around I had a ship which had a lot more resource gatherers. It had 8. That is not something I'm going to be doing right now. Or actually... No, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to keep generating as many resources as possible. Because I need them. Without it, I can no longer function. And I can no longer build out this ship. Unfortunately, that means that the ship has to have a certain height to it, which is a bit more than I'm hoping for, but I don't think it's much to be helped at the moment. Alright, let's start cleaning this design up. This time around I am going to be building something that resembles a bridge. Start building the sides. And again, it might turn into yet another disaster, but we'll see. Size of the hull. I'm going to still keep a bit of spare space. Resources are coming in faster than I can spend them. That's a good sign. At the back of the ship, I can just keep that pretty flat. It doesn't really need to be specifically angled or specifically hydrodynamic, because it's not going to be generating that much drag anyway. A couple of propellers on there. Throw in a rudder. There, I can move around, provided I actually install a command system. Next up, the torpedoes. I'm going to be firing the torpedoes from the bow. And they don't have to be above the water, like they are with, I believe, the normal torpedo boats. So instead, I'm going to build them below the waterline, and hopefully they're not going to be as vulnerable that way. Let's go for a pretty small-ish bow. There, throw in some triangle corners. 1, 2, 3. Throw in some beams. Nope, sloped beams. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to construct this like that. Yep, there's the torpedo opening. Alright, missiles. Now you may be thinking a torpedo is not a missile. You'd be right. A torpedo does get built the same way that you would build out a missile. And the reason for that is that the game considers anything that has its own propulsion to be a missile. So while you'd be right in assuming that you could say that a torpedo is not actually a missile, in this case it is. And these things are getting way too big. Let's make those a bit smaller. The larger they are, the more resources and especially the more time it's going to take to fill them up to get new missiles generated, or new torpedoes. There. Okay. Then throw in a couple of connectors to get everything hooked up to a controller. Now I can actually dictate that these are torpedoes. I'm going to throw in 2 torpedo propellers at the rear, a couple of fins to steer the thing, 1 fuel tank, that should be enough. We're going to go with a ballast tank and a regulator. Ballast tank, I want this torpedo to fire at about 5 meters below the surface. That should still allow it to get good hits. I want to have a proximity fuse, so it's going to explode at about 5 meters below the ship if it doesn't get low enough, or if it doesn't get high enough. Explosive warheads to break the ship, and then a torpedo sonar. There's the armament. And I can even get a sort of double stack on that if I want to. Which, actually, I do. So let's turn this into a double torpedo mount. 6 forward-firing tubes. You apply to all missiles, and they're not connected. 1, 2. There we go. Now they're just missile bodies. Apply. There. 6 torpedoes, long range capable, ready to fire. Let's see what the range is. Distance from launch pad, 150, 160, 170. Their current speed and the amount of fuel that they have, I'd say they can go probably for about 2 clicks. That should be possible. Alright, we're going to throw in... Actually, no, I'm going to be controlling those manually. These are mine. Weapon slot 1. I want to have a staggered fire add-on here to make sure that they don't all hit the water at the same time. There's a 2-second delay between each torpedo. We're going to add an IFF so it doesn't actually come back to bite me in the ass. And throw in some ammunition storage, because these things are generally quite expensive to be generated. Ammo processor. Their torpedoes are rearmed. Okay, now I can start building out the top section of the ship. Question is, how am I going to best do that? Let's go with... These have 5 armor, these have 3 armor, but they're way cheaper. Metal has way more armor and slightly more expensive. Yeah, we're gonna go with metal. Alright. Come on. Like that. Then, at the outer edges, I really hope that the ship won't flip over. That would be quite annoying. Whoops. Like that. Fill this thing. No, 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 not there, not there. Here. And I'm out of resources. Fantastic. And not just that, but I'm also below the waterline, because my ship is actually flooding. Air pump. Drain the water. Get the resource processors going again. Ugh, come on. Get yourselves above the water, yeah? This is getting quite annoying. You know what, screw it, I don't have time for this. I need to go with wood. I need to go with something that can finish this ship off. And if I don't have the resources for metal, then I'm just going to have to top it up with wood for now. And I might be able to upgrade it later. Come on. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill. There's the deck of the ship done. 1, 2, 3. Those are all 2-meter beams. 1, 2. These are 4-meter beams. 1, 2, 3. And then there. How do you like my ironing board? Jeez, this thing looks terrible. Not important. Not important right now. Let's get myself on top of the deck. There. Alright. Start constructing a small-ish area where I can be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the downward slopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One there, there, and there. And 1, 2, whoops, 3. Triangle corners. This thing will also get hit from the top side, likely. Alright, and... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just fell overboard there. Alright. The hell? Okay, control. I want to have a ship's wheel, which is apparently way too big for the cabin, but the game doesn't care. And I want to have a fire control computer, like that. Now I can control my torpedoes, but I just don't have a clue what's going on. I cannot see anything. So we're going to go with a... let's see. Yeah, I believe this will work. So that I can get a camera on top of the ship. If you own cameras. Yep, that one. Whoops. Come on. There, I can now move around. Can I fire my torpedoes as well? No? I should be able to. Anyone around yet? No, it looks to be quite quiet for the moment. Emphasis on that. It still looks like my resource processors are not exactly effective. Oh, that's why. There is still a lot in reserve, but it's not actually available at the moment. Okay, that makes sense. Now then, I'm going to add a 2-axis turret. This is going to be an autonomous missile launcher. I'm going to go with a local weapons controller. Then a couple of connectors for missiles. Missiles there. No connectors. There. 1, 2. I'm going to throw the controller on the front of this thing. A couple of launch pads to the side. A couple of gantries. This thing doesn't really have to do anything special short of shooting down missiles. Or sorry, short of shooting down enemy aircraft. That's all that I need this thing to do. AI wireless receiver. Come on. There we go. Then, let's find some space in the ship. If I still have any. Not fantastic, but this will work. Mainframe. Wireless transmitter on top of it. These are my SAMs. And I'm going to need to give this thing a general purpose slot. There. Alright, actually, I'm going to go with a card controller. Where? Alright, here you go. Cards and slots. One there. Target prioritization. Anything that is flying is going to get a bonus. And the faster it is, the more it's going to get targeted. Now, that's nice and all, but it still cannot see anything. So let's add another AI block. Let's add a connector. Where am I going to add this connector? Here? Yeah, that might work. Wireless receiver. And we're going to throw in a 360-degree radar. There, now I can actually see stuff. But it hasn't spawned in yet, so that's a good thing. Let's continue editing the hull, get some more thrusters in, so I can get the hell out of there. Which I probably will have to do soon. Looks like my fuel is almost empty. There we go. And now I'm just going to start throwing in some metal to the side of the hull. Get some more armor. Ah, this is really expensive. But I think I can just about afford it. 58, 43, 29, 14. There. It has a very, very moderate amount of armor. Okay. Now let's use the camera. No, come on. Camera. And I should be able to move around. It still won't let me fire any torpedoes. That's annoying. And I don't want to build this thing out of glass. That's too weak. So basically I have to look outside. Oh, shit. I started moving. Turn! Get back into the resource zone. It looks like the ship doesn't want to flip over yet. That's good. Oh, come on. Why is there no resources here? Is this thing still too deep underwater? Underwater and cannot function. Oh, come on. I think that my ship is being pushed down too far. So I need to close off that section which is actually causing the flooding of the ship. Is that the Heartstone? No, it's the ammo maker. Okay. There, now I should be surfaced well enough. Anything out there? Nope, doesn't look like it yet. Alright. Now I need to tell this local weapons controller that it shouldn't fire at anything exceeding about 1,000 meter range, because it simply doesn't have the fuel tanks to keep the missile in the air for that long. 1,000 meters should do. It has fins, oh, it has 2 fuel tanks. Oh, that changes the whole deal. Well, in that case, it should be fine. Still tracking 0 targets. But this is pretty much when I am expecting the enemy to start popping in. These resource gatherers, though. Is this thing actually working? Totally... yeah, it is submerged. But why? Alright, let's just try cordoning off the ship into 2 separate sections. See if I can keep it above the waterline like that. Mirror mode active. 1. No. 2. There, the aft is very much the problem. Water, air pump. Pump out the water. Swell of the waves is also causing issues, probably. Targets. Nothing yet. Screw these resource collectors. Yes, they're nice to have, but I'll just mount them on the outside of the ship. If they get blown up, then that's annoying. But that's pretty much it. Oh, I can even mount them on the sides of my cabin. They don't even need a direct line of sight to the water. That's fine then. And of course I messed one up. Up you go. Come on. Good, we're getting resources. We can close that gap in the hull. In the hull, I'm sorry. And that should also free up some space down here. A lot of it, actually. I can still use the system where I have multiple hull sections, so that if one area floods, the other one won't get flooded, or at least not as much. Targets. New targets. Okay. How much resources left? 4,000. That can really be useful for armoring this ship. But for now I'm going to go with something else. And that something is shields. Shields are extremely important in keeping your ships alive. They really make the difference between life and death in this game. Alright, I'm going to set it to reflect, so it's going to bounce off. See, there's my little shield. Now, I need this thing to be a bit bigger. I need it on a slight azimuth of, let's say, 10 degrees. And it has to be arcing forward at about minus 45. That's a bit too much. The hull isn't sloped that much. And it doesn't really need to be at 5 meters, it can be a bit closer. Make it a bit bigger. Make it a bit longer. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it to this one. And yeah, that's working rather nice. Torpedoes are going to pass right through the shields, that's not a problem. Get them a little bit more slanted. The azimuth is fine. Let's go with 10 here. Whoa, that's 45. 10. And 10. Nope, that has to be minus 10. At least minus 10. Range 2.4. Alright, next up, shield to the side. Protecting the sides of the ships, equally important. Reflect. Range doesn't need to be that much. 3.5 is fine. Make it taller, make it larger. And I also want to have that thing slanted. Let's say azimuth of 10. Nope. Wrong one. Azimuth minus 10. Nope. Shit. God, what did I have on there? It doesn't need any elevation. It does need a bit more range. It needs to be a bit longer. How's that? That's looking okay. I do have a hole in my ship, or my shielding there. Let's make this a bit longer. That's better. There we go. Keep it a bit closer. That should be fine. Copy. And over here, paste it. Whereas this one should be 10 and not -10. They're even clipping each other slightly. Means they're slightly too long, but if I don't make them as long, then it won't really work out as well. Alright, you. Copy to clipboard. And I'm going to paste from clipboard. I believe that you should be 10. There we go. Shields are online. How's the enemy? Not found. Okay. That still gives me time to tweak my shields a bit, because the effect strength is quite weak. It's 1, now it's going to be 5, that's going to be bouncing off more. You can hear my engine suddenly kicking in. And I believe that there's no further engine power. No, I need to start working on my engine. 5. And 5. Alright, engine. You need some expansions. Crankshaft. These two I can move. There. Now it's working again. These things overheating yet? Some of them are. They're cooling down. That's better. Alright, I have enough power, but I want to make it more efficient. Still no baddies. Now, you can also use all sorts of control mechanisms, and the one that I'm using is called an ACB, or an automated control block for short. If the enemy is at greater range than, let's say, 1500, or if there are no enemies around, then turn off the shields. And all of my shields are suddenly inactive. Now, if there is an enemy, if the enemy range is smaller than 1500, we're going to activate the shields there, and we're going to turn to reflect. But currently that condition isn't met, so I don't actually need my shields at the moment. Keep gathering resources, please. Now, last time around, the enemy spawned in... Oh, there we go. You see it? It's just on the horizon. I can barely see it, but it's definitely there. Anyone else? No. Okay. Let's add some repair bots. I still have quite a decent amount of resupplies or supplies, so I should be able to afford a couple of these. Spread them out over the ship so that if one section gets hit, I can still fix the other part with it. There. Let's get into my little safe cube here. I think that my shields just kicked in. Yep, shields are active. That means that those guys are in less than range. There he is. Thrusters to full. There's the missiles going out. Come on, laser guide that thing to the target. No, missiles coming in. Oh. Jesus, I blew his whole wing off. Do you see that? Missiles rearmed. Missiles going out. Lasers. Ooh. That really hurt. And that's another cram cannon shell coming in. I think that blew up the majority of my ammo storage. But let's hope that those missiles above me are going to get resupplied soon. because I need them. This ship has to get killed off, and fast. Or this airship. Come on. There's a couple of ammo crates being rebuilt. This thing's coming around for another attack run. Oh, no! That was close. No! Ouch. Is my ship airborne or something? What the hell's going on? Cancel thruster. Whoa! Thruster move. Oh shit, my mainframe is inactive. There we go. Oh, it looks like it crashed. It looks like it crashed. That means it's up for a torpedo strike. Son, are you in trouble? If only I had my torpedoes. What's going on with the torpedoes? They're still being repaired. Well, shit. Okay. And he's airborne again. Looks like he's not the only one who can fix himself. Missile. Still tracking. And it completely missed. So much for my laser lock. It's coming around for another pass. Yeah, and that's when it ran out of fuel. Looks like that was a hit. Thrusters to full. I have 90 supplies, I'm pretty much broke. Looks like he's once again in the water. Torpedoes away. Oh, come on, don't take off before I can hit you, please. Yep, he once again took off. Come on. And he's in the water again. Torpedoes going out. Missile just flew right through. He's trying to take off again. Missile didn't quite hit. Come on. Nail him. Yes, nail his tail. Oh, that turret's looking at me. And it looks angry. Come on. There's the missile coming in for another strike. It looks like this thing is not doing too well. I could try to board it. Oh, come on, laser missiles. Shit, I'm out of fuel. Come on. What do you mean wrong weapon slot selected? None of my torpedoes are ready? No, they're all taking up too much in the sense of missiles. Great. Can I just board this thing? It's too damaged. It looks like I killed it. Yes. Screw you. Now, I do get supplies for killing off that craft. So now I can make my way back to the resupply zone. If I have fuel. Which is not exactly true at the moment. Charge at Hearthstone. Where the hell's my Hearthstone? Oh, there we go. Rudder left. Thrusters to full. So, I'd say that went rather well. I got my first little ship killed. But, Jesus, that thing really, really messed me up. That really got a lot of damage in. So let's limp back. Hang on, are there any other targets nearby? Because my shields are still active. So the game seems to think that there's... Oh dear. Airborne. My ship seems to think that there's still a threat. Yes, there is. We are now engaging it. Oh, here we go again. A few cameras, wireless cam. Rudder left. That thing is popping flares. Unfortunately for him, that won't really matter. Because my missiles are laser guided. It's just that he might be too fast. Fortunately for me, he's also engaging that other thing in the distance, for lack of a better term. Let's head back into the resource zone. Looks like those things are slugging it out between each other for now. Where's the resource? There it is. Alright. Let's make these missiles a bit more deadly. And start adding some parts. There, now they have a fuel a couple additional parts. We start generating? Yes, we are. Okay. Right. So, this has to be... No, not a torpedo. A laser designator receiver. And the rest of them... Considering that these things are mostly targeting air, I'm going for fragmentation warheads and a couple of explosive warheads. Apply to all? Yes. Engine's kicking up. That means that my shields are active. No, shields are no longer active. Lots of explosions going on. That's the flyer that I just skirmished with. Be surprised if those are meant for me. Well, I'm going to stop it here. This is the first episode of the adventure series. I am actually alive. I'm actually alive, and I'm actually doing quite well, having secured my first kill. Let me know what you think of the series. Let me know what you think of the game. Any input is very, very much appreciated. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. And I'll be seeing you soon for more from the depths.